Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Zmore, the dad in DPS, and my Loot Goblin is back for another episode of Scrip My Pants, where I spend 2,000 Scrip at the Purveyor and see if we get anything good. Whether we are going to scrap it, whether we're going to scrip it, or whether we're going to keep it. That's the name of the game, because the new crafting system is potentially coming soon, and we want stuff for it. Either way, guys, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's get on with the show. Alright, you know the game. It is another bunch of range weapons. So first off, Medic Short Western Revolver with bullets explode for weapon damage and movement speed while aiming. Now, I really want to get like explosive weapon damage as a learned plan in the new crafting system. So this is definitely a keep, but everything else on it is definitely not. Yeah, it's scrip at best. Well, at worst, it's explosive fodder for most of the stuff, yeah. Juggernaut's Gaussler Rifle with damage while aiming and 1 agility. Now, the only good effect on here, as far as I'm concerned, is the damage while aiming. I think Juggernauts needs a massive buff. Maybe they will buff it in the future, but with this weapon, I typically don't manually aim them, so yeah. Probably Scrip, maybe Scrap, maybe try and get that effect off there, but yeah. Berserker's Submachine Gun with 25 weapon speed and 1 agility. Now this weapon is actually not bad. If you're using a stealth berserker's build, this is definitely a weapon you could get some damage out of, and you could place that bottom effect with reload speed, but not for me. This one is definitely going to go in the pile of things I will scrap to get that sweet weapon speed off there. Bloodied Gauss Rifle with weapon speed and reload speed. Now, in all intents and purposes, this is a form of a god roll. Now, what I am probably going to do with this one, because it's a very decent weapon, is I'm going to replace that weapon speed in the future. Bloodied, very good effect. Reload speed, very good effect, but that weapon speed is probably going to get replaced with explosive, so I can just test this out in the future and see how well it works with that explosive effect. So it has a double explosive effect on there. Definitely keeper, definitely technically a form of god roll for what it is, but weapon speed on a Gauss rifle is just not particularly great. The one effects you want there are going to be like anything VATS related or explosive in the new crafting system. But I'm quite happy to get that roll. Instigating Pipe Revolver with VATS hit chance and the invisibility on hit the target. Now this one's actually not bad as well. Pipe Revolvers have decent damage on that initial shot, so Instigating does work quite well on them, and the VATS hit chance on there is going to allow you to hit those headshots all the better. I would probably replace the bottom effect with crit or AP reduction, but at the same time, I'm fairly certain I've got better versions of this in storage, so this is more likely going to be either scrapped or scripted in the future. But a decent little pull nonetheless. Vampire's M79 grenade launcher with VATS hit chance and damage resistance while reloading. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Now, if this was 2-shot, this would actually be a very good roll. Vampires, I don't really rate it on these weapons, but VATS hit chance is actually really good on grenade launchers because you can ensure you get those big bada headshots and at least hit the target with both explosions if you're using it with 2-shot. But other than that, it's very much scrip or scrap. I'm not really sure, but yeah, not keen on it. Gormon's Gamma Gun with VATS hit chance. Is this the VATS hit chance server? And action point cost. Gormon's, I've said on multiple occasions, needs to be buffed. This needs to go up to like 75% extra damage. You know, you're going through the effort of using perfect bubblegum, or, you know, at the very least feeding yourself, so you should be getting more of a buff out of it. VATS hit chance is actually not bad on a Gamma Gun, and the action point cost isn't that bad, so I could in theory put quad on there and this thing would be absolutely redonkulous. So this might be a keeper based on that, but Gormon's just isn't good enough of an effect for it to matter in the future. 2-shot Black Powder Rifle with damage resistance while aiming and damage while aiming. Yeah, this exists. That's all I'm gonna say. That exists. That's a thing that I have in my inventory. Ooh, this is a good one. Anti-armor Gatling Plasma with weapon speed and 1 agility. Now, in the future, what I might do is get rid of that agility, put in maybe strength. Maybe reload speed? Probably strength though, because strength or endurance would be good things to go in there, because carry weight and just damage resistance overall. But this is a very good weapon. Anti-armor is great on things like heavy weapons, as is weapon speed. So yeah, it's very close to a god roll, and in the future I will make it into a god roll. So quite happy with that. Quite happy with that in general. Furious salvaged the Soltron head with limb damage and 90%. Why do I keep doing that voice? This is absolute garbage. That's Scrip. Scrip. Instigating M79 grenade launcher with damage while aiming and action point cost. Again, this could actually be really good. I could swap out the instigating for 2-shot on there, and this thing could be incredibly powerful. But it feels like, because of the action point cost, it kind of doesn't know what it wants to do. I'd rather manually aim this thing anyway, so yeah, I'd probably scrap this to get the effects off it rather than keep it. So yeah. Quad pump action with bash damage and 90% reduced weight. Quad is very good on this weapon. We could put something in the middle there, like explosive or something else, but you know, I'm fairly certain I've got better versions of this already, so this might be a scrapper or a scripper. I'm really not entirely certain, but it's not a keeper. Definitely not a keeper because I have better. This is definitely Scrip. 100% Scrip. Nothing about this is good. Exterminator's limb damage and resistance while aiming. Everything about that is bad. That is Scrip, Scrippity, Scrip. Hunter's Pipe Revolver. This is the same. Hunter's Pipe Revolver with last shot and 1 agility. No effect on there do I want or bother to get. So that is Scrip. You know, Pipe Revolvers I actually don't mind, but everything about it just screamed Scrip me. This one is potentially decent again as well. Aristocrat's Gauss rifle with weapon speed and weapons break 50% slower. Again, the weapon speed I'd probably swap out in the future. The weapon breaks 50% slower is always a good effect because I hate having to repair weapon mid-combat. And Aristocrats is a really good effect for a full health build, of which I have several. So yeah, this is a keeper. This is definitely a keeper. And strange that we've got 2 Gauss rifles that I actually consider to be keepers today. Furious short western revolver, last shot, and damage resist while aiming. Unfortunately, everything about this is not what I want. I'm going to script this faster than you can say script this. Yeah, everything about it was just bad. Assassin's Pepper Shaker with damage while aiming and faster movement speed while aiming. Now, this one is... No, I can't justify it. I can't justify it. You could, in theory, say I could change out that top effect in the next patch, but right now, this is just... absolute garbage. Damage while aiming, fast movement speed while aiming. I would probably scrap this and get the 2 bottom effects off of it if I could. But yeah, I can't justify keeping something like that. Now this one's actually decent. However, that's only decent right now. They're changing how it works with shotguns later. So this is Vampire, damage while aiming, 1 perception. I probably scrap this one in the next patch because, again, vampires with shotguns isn't as good as it currently is in the PTS unless they roll that back. So it's not as good as a weapon as it currently is in terms of like health regeneration. Anti-armor Pepper Shaker with limb damage and the VATS critical charge. Now, this one, you know, I think I'd scrap this rather than do anything with it. The limb damage is actually decent on the Pepper Shaker. It delimbs things like nobody's business. But crit charge, I can't justify having that on there. I could, in theory, remove it and put something more usable on it, but even then it's not really worth it. And I think it's worth more scrapping this to get exactly what I want. Because what I'd really want to put in the middle is explosive instead of limb damage in the next patch, and then the VATS critical charge is still a dead slot, so it's just paying extra to change it. So yeah, no, definitely scrap. Last but not least, Nocturnal auto grenade launcher with last shot and action point cost. Everything about this I hate. I hate it. The action point cost is the only thing I want, but I hate it. It's Scrip. Now, I think for the first pick of tonight, we're going to go with the anti-armor Gatling with weapon speed and 1 agility. This isn't a god roll, but in the next patch it may as well be, because that last effect can be swapped out for just about anything I want. And I think this is what I'm going to end up doing. I love anti-armor on these types of weapons, so it's just a very solid roll, a very solid pick. And there's lots of different ones out there that aren't god rolls that will be in the future. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this one. Next up, I'm going to go with the Aristocrat's Gauss rifle with weapon speed and weapon break 50% slower, for the same reasons that the AA Gatling, this is near perfect. In theory, it is technically a god roll, but that weapon speed I can swap out for something very good in the middle. Probably explosive, just because I love explosive weapons, but, you know, we'll see in the future when the next patch hits. I absolutely am quite happy with this, and I'm looking forward to testing it when I mod it later on. Now, I think there's no surprises that the Bloodied Gauss version of this gun is the top pick for tonight. Bloodied, very good effect. Again, I will probably put explosive in that middle effect, and the reload speed there is going to be great. This weapon's going to be fun to use, and I look forward to testing it in the future for all the reasons that I just said. There is so many things I'm going to do with these weapons. It's going to be fun. So yeah, quite a successful video. This is the thing, and I've said this in previous Script My Pants recently. Now that we know this new crafting system's coming in, things that I would look at and go, oh, this is just script because that middle effect is so poor, is now a viable thing. A thing that I can transfer to characters and then modify when the crafting system finally hits. And this is the thing. Weapons that you previously thought were rubbish, things that you've been keeping in your inventory in case they might become good, are now potentially usable, and I'm really excited about the prospects of that. Either way, guys, do you agree with today's picks? If you do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that usual jazz, and I'll catch you all next time in the Wasteland.
Feeling the heat, I'm taking again. We'll play poker with the devil. In shadows we ramble, cards on the table. The stakes run high. A twisted game of fate where innocence will die. Can't resist the temptation of dodging the flame, trading my soul for fortune. Get caught up in the game. The devil's breath whispers. Promises are worth untold, but deep down inside, my conscience starts to